Hey y'all, welcome back to Chat with Coach Amy. Today I'm with one of my one-on-one used to be's and now Blue Mariah, and she is going to share her story with us. You want to tell them, hey?
Hi,
Hi, hi. All right, girl, just tell us about you and your family and we will get started.
I'm Mariah Trudell. I married my high school sweetheart. We've been
Oh,
married for 20 years. We have two great kids, a 14-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old son. I work part-time at the elementary school that my son attends. I'm an instructional assistant, so I get to work with kids with IEPs and support them in the areas they need. I I know it's my calling. I love it.
mm,
So I'm only part-time. This only work like 5.5 hours outside of the home.
yeah, yeah, that's good. I would say something when I think about you, I think about someone with a lot of self-control. How do you feel about that?
I've been told that many times.
Mhm.
Usually when there's something I want, I will try my best to make it happen no matter what.
Mhm. You do.
Mhm.
You were a joy to coach.
Good. I'm glad you said that. Not,
Oh, yes, absolutely. Sometimes I felt like, what are you even doing here? Like, what are you needing me for? Oh,
I have to have everything perfect, and I'm learning how to let that go.
yes, good girl.
But I know I didn't know how. Yeah, that's my son.
It's okay.
Um, I didn't know though how to build that lean muscle and fuel my body right. And so that's why I sought you out.
Yeah, yeah. How'd you find me?
So I went onto Facebook and just searched up um, THM coaches on the main page and training or weightlifting.
Hmm.
And your name kept coming up. And then I would read people's comments if other women would ask. And it was, well, Coach Amy does CrossFit. You should ask her. So that's when I decided, okay, I'll reach out and see if you can help me.
Yeah. And did I help you?
Yes. Yes, a lot,
Good.
a lot.
I love that.
Um, I found out working with Coach Canada for a little while that I
Yes.
did have low estrogen. So she helped me kind of get on that path of eating more ease and fueling
Mhm.
my body that way. And then I reached out to you because I know that Coach Canada, that's not her
Yeah.
area of
Yeah.
expertise. And so, um, and this would be in the summer, right? By this time, I was 140, so I was close to my goal of 135 for my clean weight. But God was also showing me like if I had to stay at 140, but I was still healthy, then I
Mhm.
was still beautiful and I could stay
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But osteoporosis runs in my family, and so I knew strength training would really help build my muscles to give me those strong bones.
Right.
And so that's why I was like, okay, weight training's for me, but now how do I fuel? And so then that's what we worked on our one-on-one through the summer, and you getting in my head saying, do I really need that off-plan treat?
Yep.
And that helped a lot because then I went to a job that they offered us lunch for a full week. And I mean, some of it I made on plan, like the burritos that they had. I just opened the burrito up and ate the insides, and I had a
Right.
crossover.
Yep.
But then other times I was like, no, I'm just going to bring my lunch. Then I know what to have. And I'm always afraid of what other people think of me. I'm like
Yep.
you and that. And so I
Mhm.
was able to be like, well, this is the way I eat.
It's me.
So
Like it or leave it, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not going to compromise what I need to do for me because of somebody else's feelings. I
Hmm.
mean, and that's kind of harsh. I know some people don't like that. Like, I know some people will say, like Christmas, they have a family member that makes something special, and they'll say, I chose a relationship over my health goals or whatever. That's fine. That's fine. In my life, that's not a thing. Other people, it is. And we're all different. But I mean, somebody dropping off a pan of cookies at school,
Yeah.
they don't know that you ate them or not. They
Yeah.
don't care.
And
You
during
know?
Christmas time, they do that all the time at school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like we talked about with the 100 strong. There's always going to be another party. There's always going to be a special treat.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to make that choice.
Yeah.
And like when we talked one on one, I said, I know there's some things I can duplicate. I can
Yeah.
duplicate. a chocolate chip and peanut butter blossom cookie at Christmas. I can make that keto and on plan.
Right.
But the donuts that we get at a donut shop that my husband brings home like once in a blue moon, I can't duplicate that
Yeah.
donut.
Yeah.
So I'm going to occasionally say, yeah, I'll have a few
Right.
bites of that and
That's
enjoy
right.
it and then move on back to on plan.
Hmm.
But it was huge, the 100 strong for me this last year because going to all the different functions. We had weddings, we were out of town.
Hmm.
My husband's family, like that week after Christmas, that's all we did. We went to one thing after another with his family for
Easy.
Christmas. And
Hmm.
that whole time I still stayed on plan. Nobody looked at me weird. Nobody said anything about it anymore. And his uncles in the past would go and hug me and they're like, "Are you eating enough?" I'm like, "Yes, I promise I am."
This girl eats.
So, but just to get over even what my husband would think about me when I chose those on plan foods was a huge hurdle this last 100 strong that even we were out ordering out to eat as we were driving, I would be like, yeah, I don't want a bun. And he would just look at me and I'm like, I don't want a bun, order it bunless or let me
Yeah. Yeah.
like, and so, and he was funny because he was like, okay, it's been 3 hours. You need to eat. I was like, yep, I got my snack. I'm good.
I love
So
it.
he is paying attention to me.
That is so great. I'm preparing for a trip this weekend, and Wes was like, "Do you have all your snacks?" And I'm like, "Do you know who I am?" Yes. It was so funny. But he didn't see where all my other stuff was, and I'm like, "I got it." And I actually I did a live packing them up earlier today. So that was fun. I haven't gone live in a minute, and I know people get all they miss me, which
Yeah.
cracks me up, and I'm like, because I feel like I'm live all the time,
Yeah.
because I have the live Q&A on Sunday nights, at least usually 2 every Sunday night, and then I'm live in the kitchen. Hello, daughter. And then, I have 32 one-on-one clients, and so I'm live with them
Right.
all week, plus stuff like this, and so I'm like, I'm being video constantly, you
Oh
guys.
yeah. Yep.
So anyway, it's just kind of weird for me. And I know other people don't know that. I love whenever kind of connect with somebody for the first time and, or maybe after a break with taking a break from one-on-one and they're like, I'll be like, oh, it's so good to see you. And they're looking at me funny and they're like, what? And I'm like, you saw me, but I didn't see you, like in a group setting or something like that, or watching an old video. So
Yeah.
funny. But anyway, okay, tell me how you came across Trim Healthy Mama.
So after I had kids, before I had kids, after me and my husband got married, I was no longer the skinny mini I was when I was a kid. I stopped all the activity. So I gained quite a bit for me. I went up to like 145, 150. And then after I had both of the kids, I just stayed at the 160 mark. And for years, me and my best friend would go back and forth doing different diets here and there.
Mhm.
And finally in 2018, it was the summer, it was the fall. And I was just like, God, there has to be an easier way to eat. Like
Yeah,
it can't be this hard to
yeah.
eat and fuel my body. And
Right.
so I just started praying. And that's
Oh,
when on the radio, our radio uh, in the area would bring tidbits of the girls' podcast on.
really?
And they would put on like Serene's Bible verses to just love yourself as you
Oh,
are,
my stars.
or Pearl talking about your mindset with fuel. And it just kept coming up. And it struck me because here they kept saying at the end, this is their Trim Healthy Mama lifestyle if you need. And I'm like, but they're not telling you how to eat.
Mhm.
They're telling you how to love yourself, why they're going to God. So it's like, okay, I got to check this out. So I started Pinteresting all of the bloggers and seeing what they had to say. And I was still skeptical because everything else I tried, you had to buy this, this, and this from them to
Yeah.
be able to. So I was like, I don't know. And so one of the bloggers suggested getting their book at the library. So I was like, I'll check it out. And then when I got
No
it,
investment, right?
yeah, no investment.
Right,
I was like,
right.
okay, I'll try it. And all of the recipes that they had, like they would have like these special, like gentle sweet. I'm like, what's that? And then they would have an alternative you could use that you could just get at the store, which I
Yes,
felt that really weird too. Cause again, I didn't have to go buy their
right.
product.
I agree. I agree.
Um, and so I read and like beginning of December, the book. And then when I was reading, and it was a big book I got.
Oh
So it was
yeah.
the very first book. And they start telling you, okay, to save money, go to Aldi. To
Mm,
if you can't get this and just make this. Like, and it blew me away because again,
mm,
they weren't saying buy my product to
that's
lose.
so good.
And at that time too, not only did I want to lose weight, I wanted to maintain. I could lose the weight doing all these things, but no one taught you how to maintain.
Mm,
And so then I got to their chapter about maintaining and I was like, whoa, okay, I gotta try this. So I waited till the 1st of January
of
of
course. Take
2019.
time.
And I did exactly how they said. I started with just breakfast. I was like, if I can do breakfast, we'll see how this works. Because I wasn't going to force my family to do it. They don't follow Trim Healthy plan.
Right.
They eat the dinners
Yeah. Hey,
because
that's
I make them
good.
a
Mine
dinner.
too. Same, same, same.
If you don't, they're especially my 14-year-old. I'm like, you're old enough. You know how
Yep.
to make noodles. You can make
Yep.
a peanut butter and jelly sandwich if you need something,
Yes,
but see what
ma'am.
mom's making. Um, and so by the end of January, I was all my meals were Trim Healthy Mama. I'm sure it was dirty. We did a lot of casseroles and things. And I wasn't perfectly on plan. But then going into it more, I got down to that 140 again, and I couldn't
Mhm.
go beyond that. And I was getting frustrated. That's when I reached out to Coach Canada. At that time, I also learned that I was having low estrogen problems.
Gotcha.
And she guided me to say, okay, you're only eating like 4 E's a week. You need to up that, girl. Like you need to
Oh,
up that a
yes.
lot. Like, so then I didn't lose weight, but with her, I started to feel more confident. Like I could feel my body healing, I guess you
Right.
could say. Like,
Right.
I still wasn't 100%. And she just encouraged me through that and just was like, you're healing. Let it heal. If you don't
Yeah.
lose, that's okay. Let it heal.
Keep going.
And I just kept joining like her challenges. I would join Coach Sarah's challenges in Texas every now and then too. And I think I was doing that for that community. There was other women there that were like-minded thinking as I was. Um, and then by the start, I would say of last year, I was comfortable being at 140. I was fine. If that's where God had me, that's where I needed to be. That was fine with me. I wasn't looking to lose weight anymore. I was looking to maintain, and I also don't realize it. I think with you too, I was looking for that group, that community.
Yeah.
And so joining Blooms after our one-on-one has really just helped me connect with other
That's
like-minded
so good.
women, to just know I'm not alone. Like I can go to these women, I can go onto Blooms, I can go onto your Facebook page and have a comment and
Mm-hmm.
get people who love me back because they're
Mm-hmm.
in that same position to say, okay, this is how I did it, or this is what helped me, or sometimes go talk to your doctor. Like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
but just to have that and then to hear from you too, just for our one-on-one, what really helped me was you don't have to please everybody. I think that was
Mhm.
I tried to please my husband by when he
Yes.
got a treat to eat that treat because that's how I felt he loved me.
Mm-hmm.
Or when my kids brought something home, but my kids I'd have to say they've been the biggest support.
Mm-hmm.
When we
And the
went,
reason you're doing this, right? The podcast.
they are. I want to be. When you sent me the message, I was
Yep.
like, guys, look, and they're like, Mom, you have to, and I'm like,
Yes.
really? They're like, yes, you have
Girl, do you know
to.
how many no's I get? I'm like, sister, if I ask you, you have a story, please, for heaven's sakes.
Yes. And I think for me, that's hard too, because I didn't have that much weight to lose. I didn't
Yeah.
have the 50 pounds or more to
And that's
lose.
okay. I didn't either.
I just had a little bit, but little did I know I also had healing I had to do.
Yeah.
It's to hear like my peers around me be like, oh my gosh, my bones hurt, this hurts. I don't say that because it
Yeah.
doesn't.
Man.
I have arthritis in my knee. I've not felt it working out in years because
Wow.
I've gotten rid of the things that made the inflammation happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's so good.
my husband has lost 30 pounds just by eating the dinners. Like,
Wow.
just eating dinners and cutting back on his pop. I'm like, you suck. But
Yes.
I mean, and he listened to me. I'm like, you need more protein. So he's been
Mhm.
adding more protein too. So to see even him get healthier, even though
Absolutely.
he's not 100% on plan,
Mhm.
or to have my daughter, when the 100 challenge came, I was like,
Yep.
okay, help me. And she's like, do you really need that? I'm like, no, I don't. Thank you. So it was nice to have her too. And just, she's not eating that way now, but I know eventually she's going to come to the point where she's going to need it.
That's right. That's right.
And she knows who she can fall back on to help her
Mhm.
with that.
Mhm.
So it's been fun encouraging her too, just as she's doing sports and stuff, to
Yeah.
just eat and watch her choices
Right.
more.
Right. That's right. Mothering teenage girls specifically is something because you want to be so careful not to make it a thing.
Yes.
And so truly I think the way that THM teaches us to fuel and they see us, I think it's so great. It's like an organic way of teaching them how to love their body and care for it in a wise way. The way that God intended, and that's the whole reason that you even came into THM because you heard that biblical background that the girls have and it carries through and I am so grateful that I'm able to use scripture in coaching. I don't pound it, but I do offer specific things so people know what they're getting into,
Mm,
but
oh, yeah.
sometimes in blooms I know I might get a little preachy, but
I love it.
it's
So
because
keep
I
going.
love y'all. I love y'all so much. So I wanted to ask something, and I don't know what you're gonna say. So I'm walking into who knows what, but I have had some people tell me they had to leave Blooms because they didn't feel supported, and that broke my heart. There are a lot of women in there. There's over 200 in there, and so I just wonder what your thoughts are about that.
As someone who I'm not going to be the first to respond to things. If I have a question during your live Q&A, I will ask it. But for me, it's been a huge help. Just having the accountability to know someone's going to like when I put up
Yeah,
my 8 out app
we're gonna poop,
summary on,
healthy heart.
like, someone's going to see it.
Yeah,
Are they going to keep me accountable? Not necessarily, but someone's going to see it.
yeah.
Um, and then just the other information that you have, like the Bible studies have just been amazing. That's one thing.
Thank
I
you.
went from working 2 hours a week to working, or 2 hours a day to working 5 hours a day. So I had to
Mhm.
stop doing the Bible study I was doing.
Right.
So I think this is just another calling God's had, just to be to have these sisters that again think like I do on their health, as
Yeah.
well as sometimes with the word, has just been a huge help.
Yeah.
I've connected with a buddy that lives in my town.
I love
And right now
that.
we're just texting. And if that's all we do, that's all we do. But that's been huge too, just to check in with her once a week and just
Amen.
say, how are you? How's it going?
Yes.
What goals do you have this week? And she does the same to me. It's just that also is big to know that, like, again, you're not alone. And I think that's the main reason I stopped all the other diets, because my friend would stop, so then I would stop because I
Right.
had nobody else doing it with me. But with Trim Healthy, I was determined to keep doing it, whether I was by myself or not. And I think this has just made me realize this is life. I'm not going to
Yeah.
stop.
Amen. Amen.
My
Man.
great grandkids are gonna know who I am. I even told my kids the other day, I'm like, I'm going to be 100. Can you deal with that? Like, can you have me around until I'm 100?
Doreen's goal is like 115 or something. Yes, I love that. I love that so much. That's so good. That is so good. I love it. So, thank you. Thank you for that honest assessment. It hurts when I hear things like that, and I know everybody's walking through different things, but I thought I'd ask since you brought up blooms because that was a recent thing. So I want to talk about some of your favorites. Okay.
Okay.
So, like, what are your some favorite things that you pack for your lunches when you're working?
A lot of time when I'm working, I have leftovers. My biggest problem is that my husband has now decided to start eating seconds on some things that I make. And we talked about this too. It's hard for me to share,
Uh-huh. Me too.
but I'm learning. He's showing me. The funniest thing is my husband also says he hates cauliflower. And I made
He eats it once
this
a week.
this last week. I did the wild rice and chicken soup, and
Yes.
I did it dairy free. So it was just
Big girl.
cauliflower. And he went back for seconds. And all I could think of was, you hate cauliflower.
I love it.
He has a cousin who's actually, she started doing the Trim Healthy also with me.
Yes.
So we've been able to talk, and
Oh,
her
that's so good.
husband, my husband's cousin, loves it. And they were talking about it at Christmas, and I was like, you might eat cauliflower, yeah. If you
We'll
hate it,
see.
that's okay. And then if I don't have any leftovers, because he's eaten them all, I'll get like deli meat
Mhm.
and either depending on what it is, if it's pepperoni, then I'll make an S and I'll make sure to take cucumbers and peppers. And then I always lately I've been taking treats because I have so many cookies that
Yes.
I've made. I made this the cinnamon pleasure cookies, so I've been taking those. And then if I need it to be I usually then do like Ezekiel bread or something with it. My mom does sourdough, so I don't have to. So I'm blessed that way too.
Nice.
And I can put it on the sourdough bread. And then I've been trying to make a goal of having more of those non-starchy veggies in it
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Um, but that's usually what I take in my lunch. I drink my water because I have a goal to have 46 ounces of just water before
Mhm.
I do a GGMS or
Yep.
something else.
Yep. Good girl. Good girl. Something I was going to say when you talked about not, excuse me, the non-starchy. So my BFF, Coach JJ, Coach JJ, she has been diagnosed with breast cancer, and she is being very strong and just taking control of this situation herself, which is true JJ form
Mhm.
for sure. But she is, among other things, one of the things that she's doing to treat this and help heal her body is she's raw vegan. And I am going to tell you right now, I might start, I don't want to cry. Blah, 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 blah. No, but I'm so proud of her
Yeah.
because it is huge, but she is just doing great. And I started having a little issue and I have no problem asking for help because meeting of the minds. I mean, two heads are better than
Yep.
one, And so I was just like, okay, this is what's going on. And she said, okay, I'm not telling you to go raw vegan, but I do think you need some more raw veggies on your plate. I'm like, I do. Thank you. Exactly. It was right in front of my face. And then speaking of KK, Coach Canada, something that she taught me, and you might have heard her talk about this at some point. She said to put your freshies, your non-starchy veg, in the door of your refrigerator, like on the shelves, like in the door.
Mhm.
Because in that drawer, they are just tucked away, nice and neat, but you forget about them. And so I got Monday morning this week after I went to CrossFit, I was talking to Wes and I was like, I've got to have these in my face. And so I did it. I put all the condiments that were in those two little
Mhm.
shelves in the drawer because if you need mayonnaise, you need mayonnaise. It's
Right.
not like, oh, I wonder what I'm gonna put on my sandwich, whatever. So you just go get it. It's fine. But in 2 days, I was down to just one shelf because I had remembered to
Grab 'em.
pad my meals with these non-starchies. And so anybody's been looking at my 8 app, y'all will see that I've been adding those and it has helped my situation. And so those two coaches right there. I mean, it's just beautiful how this community we can all help each other. And it just is wonderful to be able to glean that stuff from everybody. But yes, having those non-starchies is huge, and it's an easy, inexpensive, nutritious way to fill up.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really needed that fiber to help fill up and help me stay fuller longer. I do not like go in 3 hours. I like to go four between
Yeah.
fuelings. I like 4 hours. That's
At
my
work, I have to go 4 from
yep.
my lunch to my snack. And I noticed that with my eats, I'm like, okay, I'm getting hungry earlier, so I need to start adding more of those veggies. Well,
Yes.
I'm a volume eater, so I
Yes,
need to add
ma'am.
more of those to keep me going with maybe a little more protein too to help me last that 4 hours.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm all about it.
So
I think I know the answer, but what is your favorite dessert to make?
my favorite dessert is the mocha layered
Yep.
cake.
Yep.
I make myself that every year for my birthday,
Hmm.
and not everybody in my family likes it because it has coffee in it, which
Yes.
I'm fine with because then
Yes.
I cut it up, put it in my freezer, and pull it out
Yeah.
every now and then. And that's like my birthday treat for the whole year, not just on my birthday.
I love
Um,
that.
but it's
Is that
good.
in Trim Healthy Table, mocha layer cake?
Future, Trim Healthy
Oh,
Future.
yes, it's Rashida's Trim Healthy
She does.
Future.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Love that. Love that. Very good. What would you say is your favorite soup?
I just started making the pizzeria soup. I don't remember what book
Mm-hmm.
that's from, and that is my
Fancy.
favorite. And
Yep.
again, no one in my family likes it, so I freeze it and pull it out for my lunch when I'm feeling
Yes.
like I need pizza.
Yes.
And yeah.
I agree. That's a delicious one. I
Mhm.
love that one too. What is your favorite grocery store?
So Meyer, that's just a
Okay.
Indiana one.
Huh?
I get loads of rewards and stuff, and they have like mostly everything.
Very good. I'm all about going to one store. Love that.
Mhm.
Hmm. Who's got time? You know me, I'm taking the easy way out these days and just getting Walmart to deliver my stuff because I can.
Mhm.
But oh man, that's awesome. I
I
love
usually
that.
just do a pickup when I'm working. Or
Yes.
my mom just retired, so she's like, I'll go shopping for you. So
Oh,
I'm
yes,
like,
ma'am. Thanks. I
you know how to get my veggies and fruit? Yes, please.
love that. How sweet. What's your favorite cookbook?
My favorite cookbook would be the one I don't have. I'm a member though, the Trim Healthy Cookbook. I cook
Yeah.
out of that one a lot.
Huh?
I just go on the member site. I have printed some of them off because
Uh-huh.
sometimes I need it like just
Right.
paper form.
Me too. Yes.
So
Very good. I love that. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we have done it. We have recorded your podcast.
yay.
So good. Do you want to share anything closing out with anybody with them with the listeners?
I guess the biggest thing is you're going to make mistakes and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Learn from them and just keep going. Like it truly is the next 3 hours. You can fuel again and keep going.
Yeah, that's so good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm
You're
so proud of
welcome.
you.
Thank you.
You're
Thanks for all your
welcome. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. You want to tell them bye?
bye.
Bye, y'all.